How's it going, everyone? This is Zero Kimchi. Welcome to another review video. This time I'll be showcasing Ayaneo's latest handheld flagship, the Ayaneo Pocket EVO. This is the 16GB RAM, 512GB storage model. It comes with the powerful but unfortunately largely unsupported SoC, the G3x Gen2. I only took 2 days to do some testing and check out its new features, since, well, it is using the same SoC as the Pocket S and Pocket Damage DMG, which by now I am familiar with. Now let's get started with the specs. The EVO sports a magnificent 7-inch 1080p OLED screen with 800 nits, 315 pixel density, and HDR support. There's also a new feature that allows you to switch between color gamuts, such as for content creators, DCI-P3. It's the world's first Android handheld supporting up to 165 screen refresh rate, with 5 other choices of refresh rates as seen here. However, there aren't many games that support 165 refresh rate. The only one I have found so far was Dead Cells. Do note the first clip does not make it justice since it's a wireless recording. One of the most interesting things about this device, it sports a PC handle size cooling fan. And this is how it sounds like on maximum. This is how it sounds like on high. It sports a beefy 8600 mAh battery. You've got the choice between 5 RAM and storage capacities, the 24GB choice being the retro model of the device. Just remember that if you are getting the base model, you will also receive a nerfed flash memory version. The ergonomics on this device are fantastic. The grips are really well designed. It sits very comfortably on your hands, in contrast with the Pocket S being basically a foam format, something, let's say, life-changing. Which is great because ever since I reviewed the RP5, I was like, wow, so that's how grips feel like. I mean, I do have the Rogue Ally, and they also have grips, but they're much more edgy and not as comfortable. So I didn't know what I was missing until I got the RP5. The controls layout feels like an improvement over the Pocket S. They still went for the diagonal layout with the sticks, face buttons, and D-pad, but they're slightly more diagonal than the Pocket S. The sticks are full-range big hull sticks, which means they have a lot more travel than the Pocket S ones, which are smaller. The face buttons are clicky. I had hoped they would have adopted the clickiness of the Pocket S or the DMG, but nope. This time we got noisy clicks. Well, they are not so bad, at least not as noisy as the RP5 ones. The Start, Select, and ISpace Recents buttons are diagonal too. The 2 RC buttons on top are the loudest things I ever heard in my life. The shoulder buttons though are fantastic. They feel great. They click silently and the positioning is comfortable, and so are the trigger buttons. They feel springy and with a lot of travel. They switch sides for the power buttons, volume buttons up top, and the performance mode switch is now on top as well. There's also a big exhaust. If we take a look at the bottom, we'll find the USB-C with display out support and a SD card tray with a new design. Now you just need to push on the embossed part here and it will easily open. It uses a gear mechanic, which is pretty cool. The little trapdoor contains a piece of, I don't know what it is, it looks like metal or aluminum. I believe might be to protect the SD card in some way. The speakers have been moved to the bottom by the grips now, but they're placed in such a way that your hands will never cover them. On the back we got the air intake and 2 more, I think are exhaust grills. Next, one of the new features available is a new streaming performance mode, which will adjust the CPU and GPU to the proper levels required for streaming with very low latency. And from my tests, at 1080p, 150 video bitrate, and with a V1 decoding, it performed exceptionally well. One last thing I'd like to cover is concerning the computer level cooling fan. I did some 10 minutes multi-threaded throttling tests at maximum fan and maximum performance, and these were the results in comparison to the Pocket S. So as you can see, the Pocket S throttles much earlier than the EVO. I think that is worth to take into consideration. Now let's talk about pricing. If we take a look at the Indiegogo website, the entry model with 8 gigs and 125 gigs of internal storage, still on early bird discount at the time of making this video, will set you back $389. Remember, this is the model with the Nerf flash memory version, but don't worry too much about it. Even then, you'd still get a really cool device. The 12 gigs with 256 gig storage, $459. The 16 gigs with 512 gig storage comes at $529. Then another 16 gigs but with 1 terabyte storage comes at $589. Personally, I think that is the best value of the bunch. Lastly, the beefy retro power with a whopping 24 gigs and 1 terabyte of internal storage. Now, the Pocket EVO is such an amazing improvement over the previous iterations. Every experience from powering it on to running my games were phenomenal. I had a lot of fun testing my games, but also admiring the absolute gorgeous screen. It just overwhelmed me. I don't think there will be a lot of games in which I'll be able to enjoy the max refresh rate of this device, or even half of it, since I most use these devices to test Windows compatibility emulators, such as Winlator. And more often than not, games just don't go above 60 FPS. But even then, it's still very worth it to get a device like this, with the AMOLED screen and the high pixel density. It's just that good. That said, we have reached the end of this year's development cycle for a lot of companies. It was a lot of fun following Ayaneo's movements with all the 4 Pocket devices. I'm very curious what they are going to innovate next. This could be a hint? Anyways, that's it for this review. What do you think of the Ayaneo Pocket EVO? Would you buy it? Why? Why not? Leave a comment below. Make sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
You know why I'm here, don't you? Just step aside. You were a mistake. I should never have taught you. Now you know too much. By returning here tonight, you've given me a second chance. This time, I will do what I must. When I look into your eyes, I see nothing but a frightened, angry child.
Show yourself.